In Demolition Man, a police officer is brought out of suspended animation in prison to pursue an old, ultra-violent nemesis who is loose in a non-violent future society. What's up, my dude? Your friendly neighborhood Tony here. Welcome to another Throwback Thursday video. And on this Throwback Thursday video, we're going to be celebrating the 30th anniversary of Demolition Man.
Two mortal enemies.
Just dropped in to say hi.
From another time.
Past is over, John. Time for something new and improved. Oh, hell.
Will be unleashed on a future that isn't big enough for the both of them. Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Demolition Man.
Now, if you're not familiar with my Throwback Thursday series, every week I dig into my pile of movies and pull one out that's celebrating a major anniversary milestone. I'll let you know some info about the movie, who made it, what it's about, all that good stuff. Then I'll go into my thoughts on the movie overall, pros and cons. And finally, we'll look at the best way to get the movie, going over the Blu-ray picture quality and sound quality, as well as whatever special features come on the disc. So if that kind of thing sounds cool to you and you want to keep up to speed on all the new big movies that are coming out in theaters, as well as learn about some classics, make sure you subscribe. All right, Demolition Man came out in 1993 and was directed by Marco Brambilla, who you might not be familiar with. He has a super slim resume when it comes to directing movies, though he's really more known as a contemporary artist with collections at MoMA, which is the Museum of Modern Art in New York, as well as the Guggenheim. Another big claim to fame for him as far as directing is concerned, though, is that he directed Kanye West's music video for Power, which is pretty dope. Demolition Man stars Sylvester Stallone as John Spartan, aka the Demolition Man. He's a renegade cop that always gets the job done, but also always manages to destroy entire city blocks in the process. Across from Stallone is Wesley Snipes as Simon Phoenix, an absolute lunatic, and if you're playing D&D, chaotic, evil bad guy, who also knows a bit of karate. Aside from those two, you also have Sandra Bullock, Benjamin Bratt, Denis Leary, Rob Schneider, and a few other faces that I think you'll definitely recognize. The movie made almost $160 million on a $77 million budget, making it a financial success, although its critical success was a little more mixed. Siskel of Siskel and Ebert found the movie amusing, but ultimately gave it a thumbs down. And Ebert actually dug the satirical edge of the film, giving it a thumbs up himself. Demolition Man went on to be nominated for a few awards, including having Wesley Snipes nominated in the Best Villain category at the MTV Movie Awards. Sandra Bullock, however, would be nominated for a Razzie for Worst Supporting Actress, which is just rude. And as of 2020, Stallone has officially said that a sequel is in development, but I'll believe that when I see it. One of the things I love most about this movie is that it knows exactly what it is, and it immediately goes for it full out. The movie opens with Sylvester Stallone bungee jumping out of a helicopter while being shot at, screaming the villain's name at the top of his lungs. And you immediately know that you're in for something special. From there, the movie has all the trappings of a 90s action movie. Massive explosions, kick-ass fight scenes, guns popping off left and right, chase scenes with futuristic cars, and of course some quippy one-liners here and there. Stallone plays his character pretty straight, but Snipes is absolutely losing his mind in this movie, and it really feels like he's ad-libbing a bunch and just having fun with his role. There are some really funny nods to Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jackie Chan in the movie as well, which is kind of funny because Jackie Chan was originally supposed to play the villain, or at least that's who they wanted to play the villain. He ended up turning it down though because he just didn't want to start playing villainous characters at that point in his career. Still though, Wesley Snipes is perfect in this role. I mean, does anybody else remember Dennis Rodman dyeing his hair to look like Wesley Snipes in Demolition Man? It was iconic. I also love the way that they depict the futuristic society, which by the way in the movie takes place in 2032. Not that far off. It's hilarious and kind of brilliant in some ways, and although the movie is a satire, it really does let you know not to take itself too seriously. There are still some things that it predicts pretty accurately. Whether it's the self-driving cars, the video chat on iPads, or some of the social developments that we've seen in recent years, it made a number of surprisingly accurate predictions. And aside from all that, it's just fun. If you're a fan of ridiculous, over-the-top 90s action and comedy, this is a sleeper hit. Also, it absolutely does not look like it was shot in the early 90s. It really holds up surprisingly well. But before we get into that, before we get into the picture quality, I want to let you know that this video is sponsored by you. That's right, I'm just a tiny little channel here without any big corporate sponsors or anything like that, so just by watching these videos, you're really helping me out. If you want to be super dope and show your support in the easiest possible way, do me a solid and just click that little thumbs up button below the video, and maybe just leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on Demolition Man, or what's your your favorite Sylvester Stallone or Wesley Snipes movie of all time. You can also now join as a channel member if you want to support me financially, or just subscribe if you want to keep up to speed on all the new big movies that are coming out, as well as some throwbacks like this. So either way, if you do, I appreciate it. All right, so let's get on to the actual Blu-ray. So this is where I would normally break down which version of the movie to pick up on Blu-ray, but fortunately here, or maybe not so fortunately, there's really only one version. The Blu-ray for Demolition Man was released in 2011, and that's the version I have here. Unfortunately, there's no 4K release to date, and I haven't heard any chatter about a 30th anniversary version being released. If I do though, I will definitely be sure to link a copy of that as a pinned comment below. Now in this copy though, the picture and sound quality are decent. Honestly, nothing to write home about, but certainly better than it would be on the DVD release. I personally would love to see a 4K remaster, but this will have to do for now. Still though, a lot of the practical effects, the set design, the locations, they all look great, and it really makes it feel like this movie was shot maybe 10 to 15 years ago instead of 30. Now, as far as special features are concerned, it is not so bueno here. You've got the trailer for the movie on the disc, which makes no sense, and I don't understand why movies put the trailer for the movie that you're watching on the disc, but they do, and it's here, so we'll keep it. Also, there's an audio commentary track with the director and Joel Silver. Now, Joel Silver is the producer on the movie, and he's actually pretty legendary. He's been responsible for a ton of movies going, I think, back deep into the 80s. The commentary is decent if you want to get a bit of insight on how the movie was put together, but again, also just not something to write home about. And that's all. That's everything that you get on the disc. For me, this movie is woefully underappreciated. If you, like me, grew up in the 90s and grew up on 90s action movies, and if you haven't seen Demolition Man for some reason, I cannot recommend watching this enough. It's got a ton of ridiculous action, some genuinely funny moments and lines, charismatic leads, and a fun and interesting take on a futuristic society. And you get to see things get blowed up real good, and who doesn't love that? So yes, definitely watch Demolition Man, and if it sounds like something that you'd enjoy owning, pick up a copy on Blu-ray, preferably using the links that I have in the description box below. Those links do help out the channel, so if you use them, I appreciate it. They also make sure you get the best price on the Blu-ray, so scroll on down there and use those. Also, let me know if you enjoy this kind of video in the comments. I really like looking back on some of the classics or movies that I grew up with, and I hope you do too. And of course, if you want to keep up to speed on all the new big movies that are coming out in theaters or at home, make sure you subscribe. All right, my dude, I'll catch you in the next one. Be good.